everyone, this is Georgia with Georgia's Crafty Creations, and today what we're going to do is make a triple easel card. Now on YouTube there are several versions of this, and I was just asked specifically to do a tutorial on it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to recreate this card. So let's get started. First of all, the supplies I used, my paper, I did use basic white cardstock for my base. And then for my pattern paper, I used the Floral Muse collection from Dove Craft. And then I also used, and I'll explain why in a little bit, I used the Stick It from Ken Oliver. This is a glue that you can put on the back of the paper if you're cutting something intricate, and you can cut it out and then peel off the back, and it's already sticky for you, so you don't have to mess with glue or anything. If you're doing something intricate, this is really great. So let's get started. Now the first thing you need to do is pick a shape you want to do. Now I have different dies and I have many shapes. The dies I'm using today, these are from Tonic dies. And you just pick 3 different sizes in a set that you want to use for your card. Now you could also recreate it in Cricut Design Space, and I'm pretty sure you could probably recreate and do it with a scan and cut too also. Now what I did is I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock and folded it directly in half. And then for your dies, you want to make sure when you put your dies down that you leave some off the edge so that when you'll be able to open the card and you won't be cut in that area. And then what I did is I ran this through my Tato machine, which you could also use the Evolution, Cuttlebug, whatever die cut machine you have to do it. So I've already cut my pieces. And what you want to do, you want to cut 3 bases, and then you also want to cut out of just white cardstock, you want to cut another piece of white with the same dies. And then you also want to cut, and I use 3 different papers, you want to cut one out of a pattern cardstock. Now this is where the Stick It comes in. On the pattern cardstock, you put the Stick It on the back and then you die cut it, and then when you get ready to adhere it, you just peel back the paper and put it on what you want to put it on. So I have my 3 card bases, which look like this. And then what you want to do is take, and I eyeball this, you just want to score it right through the middle like that. And once you have your card bases together, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go ahead and fold my base pieces. The next step you want to do, you want to set your card bases aside for the moment. Now next what you're going to do is you're going to take your white cardstock that you cut in the shapes, and you're going to take the corresponding piece in your paper. Now if you use Stick It, all you have to do is peel the back off. If you don't have Stick It, you could just use glue, you could run it through a Xyron, whichever way you'd like to do it. Now since I chose like a fussy pattern on the edge, you need to be very careful if you choose something like this on putting it on. I will usually just line up a couple of the little things first, the little stems coming out, and then I'll just kind of push down on those first, kind of line those up, and then just smooth it down. And that's all there is to it. I already did my big piece, but I kept the small and the medium just so I could show you. Once again, if you don't have the Stick It, you can use glue, but Stick It for this is wonderful. I'm glad I have that product. Now you just line it up again. It's kind of like lining up gears or something. You have to be very careful or you can get it off very easily. Once you get one started or get a few, it usually just falls right into place the rest of the way around. That one I got a little off, but it gives it a little character too, so we're good with that. So once you have all 3 of these designed, then you're going to bring your card over here, your 3 bases, and for this I just use some sticky tape, and you're going to kind of figure out where you want, and I try to center it to the best that I can. And this one, my base is about 3 3/4 inches, so we're going to put it about right there. Once you figure out where you want it, you just put a couple You don't want to put a lot. You just put a couple, enough to hold it. And I'm using Tombow tape to do this with. And you just line up where you want it. And you want to make sure you get it centered this way so it's straight. And I'm going to put mine about right there. Looks good. And then when your back stands up, you just want to crease this really good. Let me grab my bone folder because I hadn't creased these yet. You want to crease that really, really good. And then you do the same thing with the small one. You just figure out where you want it. Then run some tape on the back of the small one. And you're going to stick that on there too. Once again, just kind of eyeballing it. Get it where you think you want it. And I think I want mine right about there. And there you have your base. Now, the next thing you're going to do, and I usually start with the back one, is I take and put some double-sided first. You're going to want to line this up so when it stands, you're like this. So I'm going to go ahead and run some tape on there. And we'll get the back one on. But always have your tape in the right direction. And then you're going to take this, and I usually open it up this way where I can see better. And I will line up from the bottom because you definitely want your bottom lined up on this one. And just smooth it down, and you have your first piece. Then the same thing with your second one. You just want to put some double-sided tape on, or glue if you prefer glue. You can do that too. It would let you move the pieces around more. And decide where you want it. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Line it up with the bottom. And there we have our second layer. And then finally the last one. Make sure you have all your tips smoothed down so that they don't pop off. And wherever you want that, I'm going to put that there. So then when you open your card up, you have your triple easel. And what I'll usually do too is kind of fold it forward a little more just to give it the oomph to stay up that way. So then the next thing I did is you need a stopper here on the front. And for this one, I'm just using a little rose. And what I used to attach that is Scotch adhesive pop-up dots for the rose, because it just holds it really well. You just pop that on the back of there and kind of decide where you want your card to sit, which I think about right there for mine. So we put our rose there. Now I've also, for the middle, I've chosen a heart from the same pattern collection, and we're just going to pop it like right on the middle in the middle section. And then on the bottom, I'm doing this for a birthday card, so I did stamp a birthday wishes and cut it out. And we're just going to put that up on foam squares. And then we only need a couple for that, so we're just going to put those on. This is a really neat card. If someone, they could display it. It's not a card I think that many people are going to throw away too soon. They can use it for whatever. And I always angle a little bit because I don't like things super straight. And then on the back one for this one, I decided to use this bright pink butterfly because the person this card is for really likes butterflies. And for that, I'm also going to use one of the pop-up dots because it just sticks better to the back of the wing rather than a foam dot and holds it. So we're going to, I'm going to turn this around for a minute because I want the butterfly kind of seen, so we're going to pop that up off the back. So, and there you have a triple easel card. When you pick it up, it tends to flop, but there you go. Now you could also, if you want, you could put patterned paper on your base Or you could put a sentiment, like I have a little with love sentiment that we're going to just pop right in there. And I should have put it before my rose, but we can do it. There we go. And there we have the completed card. Now you can do these cards simply, or if you really want to go out, I'll show you one more sample of one I did. This is one I did in a beachy theme. This one took a lot more time, but I did the little girl, stamped her and colored her, and did it as a birthday wish with the castle. And we have seashells. So really you can make these cards as elaborate or as simple as you'd like to do. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe. And until next time, have a great day. Bye.